Every single night we get to be the star, director, and producer of our very own private movies. And they can be bizarre, beautiful, sometimes absolutely terrifying narratives that just kind of vanish when the sun comes up. But why? I mean, what even are dreams? Let's dive into this huge universal mystery.
Oh, you know that feeling. Your stomach just drops, you feel the wind rushing past, and then bam! You're awake in your bed, heart absolutely pounding. That sudden jolt, by the way, is a real thing called a hypnic jerk. And that falling dream, it's one of the most common experiences we all share. It's just a perfect example of how deeply physical and, visceral our dream worlds can really be.
And it is not just falling. Research shows that we all seem to be pulling from the same kind of weird library of scripts at night, whether it's that classic anxiety dream of being naked in public, or the absolute thrill of flying, or that heart-pounding terror of being chased. These themes are just so universal. It really makes you wonder, if we're all watching such similar movies, what are they trying to tell us?
Yeah, that question is definitely not new. For thousands of years, people have been trying to crack the code of our dreams. This search for meaning is actually one of our oldest intellectual quests, and it all started with the idea that they were messages from somewhere else.
This search has a really long and fascinating history. I mean, back in ancient Egypt, priests were the official interpreters. They were decoding what they thought were messages from the gods. The ancient Greeks saw dreams as omens of the future and even had these huge guidebooks like the Critica, which was basically the first ever dream dictionary. But then, in 1900, the whole game changed. A doctor from Vienna came along and suggested that the messages weren't coming from the gods, but from a place much deeper inside ourselves.
And this was Sigmund Freud's big idea. He was basically saying that dreams are not just random noise, and they're not prophecies. No, he saw them as a direct, even if it's a little bit disguised, hotline straight to our unconscious mind, a royal road, as he put it, to all the hidden desires, fears, and memories that are secretly running the show in our waking lives. For Freud, this difference was absolutely everything. The manifest content is the bonkers movie you remember, flying on a giant lizard over a city made of cheese. But the latent content, that's the supposed hidden meaning behind it all. He believed our mind has this inner sensor that disguises our true, often forbidden wishes into symbols to protect our sleeping brain. So the dream story is really just the wrapping paper.
And then, you've got the modern take. And while Freud's ideas were completely revolutionary and are still super popular, a lot of people in the scientific community today would probably agree with this very blunt Reddit user. The idea that every long object is a phallic symbol, it's been pretty much dismissed by modern science. And this created a huge split in how we think about dreams.
So with Freud's theories getting that kind of pushback, the search for answers really shifted. It moved from the therapist couch into the science lab. Thanks to things like brain scans, we could finally watch the brain while it was dreaming, which, as you can imagine, led to a totally different set of theories.
But actually, before we jump into the neuroscience, it's worth pointing out that even within psychoanalysis, things weren't all rosy. Freud's own student, Carl Jung, had a major falling out with him. Jung argued that dreams weren't just about hiding our secret wishes. He thought they were about finding balance and about bringing forward parts of our personality that we ignore when we're awake. And he also had this idea of universal symbols, or archetypes, that all of humanity shares.
So this brings us right to the middle of the big debate today. Are dreams a top-down thing, starting from our deep psychology, like Freud thought? Or are they a bottom-up process, where the lower parts of our brain just send out random signals, and our higher brain tries to stitch them into a story? Then there's a third view, kind of in the middle, the neurocognitive one, which suggests that dreaming is really just thinking, but in a different biochemical state. It's a continuation of our waking thoughts.
Okay, so we've got all these competing theories. Where does that leave us? Are our dreams coded messages? Are they just random brain static? Or something else? Well, the modern consensus actually gives us a really useful way to think about it all.
Most researchers today would say that dreams aren't secret codes from our unconscious, but they are psychologically meaningful. They're a direct reflection of our waking thoughts, our worries, our hopes. One really cool idea is the threat simulation theory, that dreaming is like a VR simulator for our brain, letting us practice for stressful situations so we're better prepared in real life. But really, at their core, dreams are a powerful form of imagination that reflects who we are right now.
But here's what's so fascinating. Even with all this new science, our deep desire to see dreams as something more is incredibly strong. Get this. A study in 2009 found that over half of Americans, 56%, still believe in the Freudian idea that dreams contain hidden truths. It's like we are just hardwired to search for deeper meaning in these nightly stories.
So, how can we satisfy that need for meaning in a way that actually lines up with modern science? Well, it's not about going out and buying a dream dictionary. It's about developing your own toolkit to better understand the messages your own mind is sending you.
Okay, 3 simple steps. First, keep a dream journal. The second you wake up, write down everything you can remember, because those details fade so fast. Second, think about your own personal context. A dream about a dog is going to mean something totally different to a dog lover than it does to someone who was bitten as a kid. The symbols are yours. And finally, if you're having recurring nightmares that are really bothering you, take them seriously. They could be your mind's way of flagging a real issue like anxiety. It's always a good idea to talk with a professional.
So maybe dreams aren't the royal road to the unconscious that Freud imagined. But you know what? They are a direct, unfiltered window into your own life, your concerns, your creativity, your powerful imagination. The only question left is, what is your imagination trying to tell you tonight?